Hello there and welcome back to my channel. I make several videos a week all about cruelty-free beauty, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I hope you'll please consider subscribing. Now, today I will be testing out the Unearthly Cosmetics collab with Heather Austin. I mean, look at this beautiful box. These beetles just are like holographic. They just shimmer and shine. Beautiful, beautiful, stunning packaging. And then when you open it up, I don't have these protectants on there, so let's take those out. And then you have this beautiful packaging. We have a lip gloss, a highlighter duo, and a pressed pigment eyeshadow palette. I mean, we have the beautiful Resurgent eyeshadow palette. This is a pressed pigment palette. We have this gorgeous, gorgeous color scheme. I don't have anything like this in my collection. It's very unique, very pretty. I really love that about it. And I love all the shimmer shades in here. It's sparkly. I just adore that. And also in this collection, we have this beautiful highlighter duo, and all of the packaging has those beautiful holographic reflective beetles on it. And then you open it up and you have these two really beautiful highlighters. We do have a mirror in here as well, which that's really nice. Just stunning highlighter shades, as well as this beautiful gloss. Hoping you can see that. There we go. That has these holographic beetles on it as well. Just simply beautiful. Now, I will be doing 2 looks with this eyeshadow palette, and during each look I will be including swatches of all the shades that I use, the highlighters, the gloss, and everything. So if you are interested in seeing my thoughts on this collection, then let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we have the Resurgence Pressed Pigment Palette. I'm sure you can see how the little beetles, how they kind of have that holographic look to them. Then of course we have the color scheme. We have a big nice mirror on this side. Beautiful palette, beautiful colors in this palette. I cannot wait to sit down and play with this. Now there are 12 shadows in this palette, so I wanted to try to do 2 looks using 6 shades per look. So what I did was I had a random generator pick out my 6 shades, and this is the color scheme that it picked out for me for look number 1. So we have Transformation, Scarab, Life, Jewel, Regeneration, and Nymph. Those are the shades that I'm working with today. They're so pretty. I mean, look at these 2 matte shades. And if you can see, if I'm trying to turn my hand some, you can see like the shift that these shimmer shades have. You will be seeing the swatches of the other 6 shades in look number 2. So I'm first going to start with the shade Regeneration, and I'm going to take that on a detail crease brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to start running that right here in this inner portion of my crease. Kind of stamp that shade in first, and then I'll go in and blend. I did do a look with this palette yesterday, but it was only a 2 shadow look. I had a ton of errands that I had to run, including getting my car serviced, so there was a lot going on. So I just used 2 shades in this palette, and it created such a beautiful look. The only shades I used were Cerambus and Solar Symbol. And those were the only 2 shades I used, and it created such a really pretty look. And on that same brush, I'm going in with the shade Nymph, and that one's going to go on this outer portion of my crease. You can do a really pretty watermelon-inspired eye look with these 2 shades. They're pretty. I'm going to go in with the shade Transformation, and I'm going to take that on a eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. And I did spray my brush. I just wanted to keep these more glitter particles, like not so much all over my face. I'm just going to stamp this on this outer portion of my lid. Well, was I even in focus? I hope I'm in focus. Just going to stamp that right out here. That shade is so pretty. It just, can you see it? How it just shifts. Like a beautiful green, a purple, like pink. It's such a pretty shade. Okay, then I'm gonna just take that little crease brush and just work slightly around that shimmer shade, just to merge it in with that Nymph shade. Okay, and then I'm gonna pick up the shade Jewel. And this brush is considered a concealer brush, but it's kind of tiny to be a concealer brush. It's this brush right here from e.l.f. They call it a concealer brush, but it's teeny. Then I'm going to start applying that right in here on this inner portion of my lid. Probably should have gotten a bigger brush, but I was thinking this would fit better in this portion, and it does, but it just takes a little bit longer. This collection was my first time trying Unearthly Cosmetics, and I definitely would love to try more from the brand. Okay, so I'm just going to very quickly put on like my foundation, my concealer, and all that, and I'll come back and do the lower lash line. Okay, I'm gonna take that same little teeny concealer brush and go in with the shade of Scarab, and take a small amount of that and run that as close to the lash line as possible. That is a really pretty shade. I just can't get over how beautiful the shimmers and the sparkles are in this palette, because I love like sparkly things, like glittery, sparkly eyeshadows. I really do love those. And using that same brush, I'm going in with the shade Life, and I'm going to pop that on that inner corner. Okay, I'm just going to put some mascara on, but right quick, the lashes I'm wearing are from Ioni. These are the 3D foaming lashes in Wispy Natural Flare. This is from their Zodiac collection, so these were the Virgo lashes. They just come in a packaging like this. Okay, and here are the eyes all done. Alright, I'm going to zoom you out a little bit because we're going in with the Resurgence highlighter duo. We have that same pretty holographic packaging, and then these really pretty highlighters. And here is Rebirth and Renewal. The shade Renewal is a little bit too deep for my fair complexion, but I do layer my highlighters underneath a blush, so these deeper highlighters don't really stand out as much when I put a blush on top. That's just the way I like to wear my highlighter. I don't like them up over my blush. I want them to be underneath that blush shining through. So I'm just going to take this brush I have right here. This is from Betsey Johnson. It doesn't have a name, but it looks kind of like a really fluffy blush brush. I just like to use my same blush brush for my highlighter and the blush. So I'm just going to dip into both of these and then place them right on those cheeks. I'm hoping you can see that. Just mix. I just like to mix the two of them, and I only dipped in once. It's such a pretty, they're both such beautiful highlighters, but I love just dipping into them one time because they are very pigmented. You could really make these glow and shine if you want to. See that? I'll take a little bit more of Rebirth and go over that, the lightest of the highlighters, and just add a little bit more. Okay, and over that, I'm just going to take this blush from Ioni. This is their Written in the Stars collection, and this is their Celestial Peach blush. Kind of looks like that. And you can find these at Dollar Tree. And so you can still see that highlighter poking through, which is what I like. I like to put blush on top of highlighter. It's just the way I like to wear it. But I will say both of these highlighters, they are glittery. So if you don't like a glitter highlighter, you won't like these. Now me, I love that. I love glittery highlighters. I love glitter. So it's definitely something I love. But just be mindful of that if you don't. And there you can see the highlighter underneath that blush, still shining through. Okay, all I have on my lips is Rare Beauty's matte lip liner and the matching matte lipstick in the shade Lively. That's all I have. So I'm going to be going in with the Resurgence gloss. This one is in the shade Omen. You can see the pretty holographic beetles on this packaging. So stunning. And this is basically like a clear filled with glitter. It's right there. Hoping you can see that. Looks like it's showing up pretty good on my viewfinder. And it is a beautiful gloss. I've already worn it a few times, and spoiler, I really do like it. Okay, and I definitely did wipe off that applicator before I put it back in the gloss. But there you have look number 1 with this palette. So stay tuned for look number 2. Alright, here we have the colors that I have not used yet. These were the colors that the random generator picked out for look number 2. So we have Cosmology, Ancient, Solar Symbol, Beetle, Creation, and Cerambus. I'm sure you can see how those shimmer shades, how they shift. So I'm going in with a small detailed crease brush like this from e.l.f. And I'm going to start with the shade Cerambus. I'm going to kind of do my crease the same way I did yesterday, where I just kind of split it. I do one shade right here in the front and then another shade in the outer portion. That way I can use as many shades as possible. Not to mention, I really love doing that random generator to pick out my shades because I feel like it gives me a challenge and kind of gives me color schemes that I probably wouldn't have done on my own. So I do enjoy doing that. I really love that shade. It's like the most beautiful gray purple. Definitely one of my favorite shades in this palette. I'm just going to take a very teeny amount of this shade because it is pigmented. So I'm just going to dip my brush in once and I can build it up from there. Yeah, see that was one dip. Ooh, those two shades are beautiful together. That purpley gray meeting up with that blue. I'm going to take a little bit more of that shade of Cosmology on a eyeshadow brush from e.l.f., like more of a flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to stamp that on this outer portion of my lid. Kind of pressing that shade, and then I'll go kind of blend it a little more, but I want to get most of that pigment down. Kind of blend around that just slightly with that same little crease brush. Okay, I'm going to go in with the shade Creation on another flat brush from e.l.f. Okay, and I sprayed my brush, and I'm just going to press that right here in the center of my lid, meeting up with that deeper blue on the outer corner. Boy, that's a pretty shade, that shift. And then of course I'm going back in with that blending brush and I'm just blending around that shimmer shade. And using that same brush, I'm going in with the shade Solar Symbol, and I'm going to put that on this inner portion of my lid. There's some excess, and I can put some over here as well. I also sprayed my brush on this shade too, just to keep sparkle from going everywhere. Okay, I'm just going to finish up with some mascara, some lashes, and I'll do the rest of my face and I'll come back and do the lower lash line. Okay, the lashes I used are from Ioni. These are the 3D foaming lashes. This is from their Bon Voyage collection, and this is the Eiffel Tower, which is Wispy Crisscross Flare. They come in a packaging like that. That company makes the best lashes. I have so many of their lashes in my little lash drawer over there, and they're really the only brand I want to use now. They're affordable. They're like $1 something, less than $2. And they're beautiful and they last a long time too. They're amazing quality. Okay, I'm going to go in with the shade Beetle. And this brush right here, this is from one of the J Kissa collabs. This is the J6, but it's a brush that looks like that. Kind of like a liner brush, but it's just straight across. And then I'm going to take that and run that on my lower lash line. This is a beautiful black shade in this palette. It is filled with sparkle. Okay, then I'm going in with that same brush in the shade Ancient. I'm going to start applying that over the black shade, just on this inner portion. I am taking a little bit of that shade Life and going just in this inner portion. That's that more white sparkly shade. I want to add a little bit of brightness. Okay, but here is look number 2, all done. And here you have look number 2. I have both of her highlighters on underneath Milani's Baked Blush in Dolce Pink. I have that blush on, and then just what's on my lips is the Joa lipstick in the shade Yas. I believe that's been discontinued now. You can't get it anymore, so I'm trying to finish it up. And I have the Omen Gloss right on top of that. I've done a few looks with this eyeshadow palette with the highlighters, the gloss. I'm impressed with everything. Everything is amazing quality. I don't think you'd be disappointed if you picked up this collection. And what I love about this eyeshadow palette is it has a very unique color story. I personally don't have anything like it in my collection, so I do appreciate that about it. The highlighters are also equally just as beautiful. If you love these really pretty shifty highlighters like that, then I think you will really enjoy this highlighter palette. Excellent quality, but definitely you must like sparkle and like glitter because it does have that in it. But now me, I love that. The same thing with the gloss. It's a beautiful clear gloss with glitter in it. I really love the sparkle. I really love the glitter in this collection. So this whole entire collection was definitely right up my alley. But thank you so very much for watching. It truly means the world to me, and thank you for liking, for commenting, for subscribing. I really appreciate it so very much, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!